We already have one out.
Turning the sun reflection.
You could use this as a reflection. Actually, this would probably end up being part of a reflection. What we just talked about, I think, is a great segue to some of the ideas that I mentioned that we probably bring up. This actually just proved, yes, we need to go here. So I want you to write down on that piece of paper or on your technology, whatever works for you, attributes that describe who you are. So, for example, if you feel like you're generally a kind person, you might put kind. If you're service-oriented, whatever. The attributes that, and I'm sure you could probably make a fairly extensive list, but do the best you can with attributes that describe you. I'm glad you read that one. That's a good attribute. Give you another 30 seconds or so, just so that we have at least a good core for each of you. I'd invite Rob and Ben to participate in this exercise as well. I think this could be revealing for all of us. Down your last one there. And there may be others that you think of, and that will be fine. I'll add to that. Because we all genuinely and generally are good. We are full of goodness. We're good attributes that describe us. Now, in the scenario in what Bryce brought up at the beginning, when we talked about thoughts, let's just revisit this real quick. You said it before, you're in your church talk, thoughts and feelings. What do those lead to?
Actions.
Okay, actions. Talked about this, and that leads to
Behaviors.
Okay, good. So if we want to change our behavior, we talked about, well, we need to address this. Now, what we're going to do is we're actually going to dig deeper into this real quick. I want to ask you a question that we'll come back to. Is it important to follow our thoughts and feelings?
Depends on the shots.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
No one's perfect, so sometimes we have negative thoughts and we have negative emotions, and if we follow those, they take us down a negative path. I can get more specific if you want me to. But, or like on the flip side, if we have positive thoughts and emotions, and we try and focus on those, then generally what we focus on expands, and then we'll be able to follow those positive ones.
Okay.
As you need to, so.
Is it possible that we think we are having a positive thought or feeling, and and yet it's distorted.
Totally.
We believe that we are right. We feel that we are right. Literally, we feel it. And yet, we may not see clearly that that thought or feeling is actually a bit distorted. But we don't recognize it. So kind of somewhere in the middle, we've got some distortion going on. Okay? What I want to talk about right now is how we can potentially identify and change and prevent the distortion and maybe even the negative feelings. So you've written down those attributes that describe you. We talked about potentially blaming a professor for his or her problem, and yet we had kind of talked about it being our problem. I'd like to pitch an idea to you that's called self-betrayal. That whenever we are unhappy, particularly towards a person, it's actually, it's my iPad going off, sorry, the little thing. That it's actually our fault. And it's us betraying ourselves. Let's give you some examples. Okay? Let's say I walk by someone in the hallway who is visibly upset. Maybe this has happened to you. I walk by, I have that initial thought, I should go see how that person's doing. And then what happens?
You just
Keep walking.
Why? What do you start? What's the dialogue that goes on in our mind?
Okay, in that specific situation.
What could be the dialogue? Let's make up
if
a
it were
dialogue.
me, I would be walking like, that person needs help. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I'm hungry. Really though, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to help this person. I don't even know who they are. Maybe they'll get mad.
I'm not a trained counselor.
I'm gonna pretend to pull out my phone, fake a text, and keep walking.
Okay, now, we would probably have all gone through a similar dialogue.
It's
Okay, now,
I've done that.
name off some of your attributes real quick, if you don't mind.
Okay, I put sensitive to others.
Okay, let's stop there.
I read that one first.
Let's stop there. Okay, now, are you not?
I'm the worst.
No, you're not the worst. It's all of us. Are you not betraying who you really are when you walk by that person? You're betraying that sensitivity to others. That is who you are. And yet we start to justify to ourselves. We potentially maybe even demonize that person. Oh, they would get mad at me. We project this idea on them that we have no idea. It's like, oh, they'll think I'm weird if I. No, that's us. That's us doing it. We're projecting this idea. They're sitting there obviously having some issues that we could be sensitive to, and yet we justify in our minds. But you shake your head. You were just the example. But we're all examples if we're really honest with ourselves. Okay, here's another example. Okay, and there's some legitimacy to some of these. Okay, how many of you have been driving down the road and you see someone who has a flat tire? Okay, you have the thought. What's the thought?
I should help them.
I could stop and help them. Especially if someone looks like they're really struggling with it. Maybe it almost appears like they've never changed a tire before. You could help them. But what's the dialogue that goes on?
They're gonna kill me.
They might kill me, yeah.
I'm on the freeway and they're 3 lanes off to the right. I'm in carpool. I'm out of here.
You are safe. I've just justified my way out of
Yeah.
that. Okay?
The worst.
No, but but we all do it. And yet, to a certain degree, how do we feel about that afterwards?
Feel bad.
Okay? And sometimes that's maybe just for a moment, and then we forget about it. But imagine if we do this over and over and over again. we are betraying ourselves over and over and over again, and that becomes our reality. It's easy for us to justify and to pass blame to others, and we become conditioned to do that, and that becomes who we are, and that's where the unhappiness comes. Parker, go ahead.
I have to redeem myself now.
Okay, please, redemption,
The
come on.
last time I was in class, we talked about, well, this was a week and a half ago, so forgive me. We were talking something along the lines about things that we wanted to change about ourselves and do. And I have to say this, I'm sure that all of you guys have seen the woman who stands at the corner, the street that goes right behind PetSmart, the dealerships, all the way up to the mall, right on State Street. There's a woman, usually, who stands there with a sign. I don't know if you guys have seen her, but I pass her all the time. That very day that I left class, I told myself, I don't want to be the person who just keeps passing people who need help. Exactly what we're talking about. I don't like doing that, even though I am guilty and I do it all the time. I stopped and asked if she needed anything, and she wanted a Pepsi. So I drove to the gas station, got her a Pepsi and a massive water, and then I got out of my car, I parked it, and I went and had a conversation with her and got to know her. Her name's Tammy, she's from North Carolina, her daughter lied to her, now her daughter's in New York and she's stuck here. But it was just so satisfying to not only just like, okay, here's your drink, bye, but like, she is a human being and she has struggles.
Good for you.
And it just felt awesome.
That's a good
So-
redemptive moment.
I'm redeemed.
Okay, now, Parker may have played into another aspect of what we're going to talk about, so he may also become the victim again. So, no, I'm just kidding.
Normal,
Um,
it's okay.
I'm used to it, so. Okay, no, but